I am here with the lovely, the amazing storyteller woman, Kathy Brooks.
You're talking about me.
I know, I'm talking about you.
Hi. So good to see you.
You too. We've been coming to this thing for the last 4 years together now. How did that time fly so fast?
Because we're getting older.
No.
Well, I'm older than you are, so. No, actually, I counted this is my 6th or 7th South by. In internet years, that makes me 512.
Yes, exactly. Let's start there, Kathy. How has South by Interactive changed? I can, for the last 4 years, I can give some insight, but from your perspective, what are some of the major things that have changed about it?
Well, the size. I mean, it's impossible to look at South by Southwest as an entity. I mean, don't forget, this started as a music festival, right? It started as a music festival 20 some odd years ago. Sorry, I'm just trying to multitask and actually set up a demo. There we go. So that I can enthrall her with a product that you won't be able to see, but you'll be able to use. But we'll get to that later. The sheer size. So it starts as a music festival. They add in a little film. Then they add the interactive part is really only, a little more than a handful and some change old. And that's really when our people started coming in more full force. And to see how there are multiple campuses now for South by Southwest.
It's expanded everywhere across, not just downtown, but satellite locations almost around the city.
Through the woods, grandma's
Yeah,
house,
exactly.
and her summer house out by the lake.
The summer house too, exactly.
Yeah. So it's a lot of different places. It's a little bit confusing. The thing that's also hard, I'm on the advisory board for South by Southwest Interactive, which means that I get a chance to review panels when they're submitted. And one of the challenges with that is, first of all, recusing myself from ones where I know the people really well, or if it's content that I'm really deeply engaged in, I recuse myself from those. But there are still thousands to review. So the volume of submissions has, quintupled in just the last couple of years. And you see, 8 or 9 or even more submissions on almost exactly the same subject. Right. And it's like flipping a coin to see, which one do you go to? Yeah. It's hard. A lot of the really great stuff tends to be, not that it's not all great, it's all great. You're all awesome. No, but to try and get to as much as you can, oftentimes the multiple campus setup makes it hard, because if there's a session at the convention center, but there's something at the Hyatt, and then there's something at the Omni and something at the Driscoll, and one ends but the other one starts 20 minutes later, right, you can't reasonably get from one place to the other. It's just too hard. So that's part of it. It's gotten a little bit commercialized, which happens. I mean, this happens. The good news is that it happens with every major thing that grows. It is no longer the pure independent thing that it was.
A lot of new faces here too.
There are. Well, then there's also that you don't remember the faces that you saw the year before, because
for lots of many different reasons
of South by Southwest, which is that a lot of people say there's content here. There are people who come and actually never step into the convention center, which I think is actually a shame.
It is, because they're amazing sessions. I mean, and to your point, there are so many new people that are getting involved, and high level sessions too, not just introductory stuff.
Yeah. So you can find pretty much anything that you're looking for.
Sounds like Burning Man.
Well, people are clothed here, though, for the most part. It's a little too cold and rainy.
So if people have cowboy hats on here, then they're also wearing clothing.
They're generally wearing clothing.
Now I get it. Okay.
Yes, and there's clothing in between the boots and the hats.
Yeah.
And this year the weather's pretty cold this year, and it's raining. It's the worst rain that I've seen in the time I've been coming.
Maybe people will go to the sessions.
Or they'll sleep in. It's still early. It's only Friday, so things haven't really gotten too out of hand yet. I got here Wednesday. I feel like I've been here a week already. Yeah. So,
Kathy Brooks also has a mild obsession with buying boots whenever she is in Austin for South by Southwest. Am I correct? I don't know if you can see them, but yes, she always has to buy new boots when she's in town. That was quite the stretch, Kathy. What was that?
I should have stretched. I didn't know I had to actually stretch before this conversation today. I would have. Is there a chiropractor in the house?
Strength and flexibility, people. Come on.
Something like that. It's core training here.
So Kathy, you're a major storyteller, and you tell stories about all sorts of fun brands. What story are you telling this time?
So this year is a little bit different for me, because I have done something that I haven't done in a number of years, which is I actually have joined a team. I know there's a company that has made an honest woman out of me, at least insofar as that's actually possible. It's a team that I've been working with from January of the previous year, of January of 2011. I was consulting with them, helping them tell their story here in the U.S. And in the spring, they asked if I wanted to join the team. And it is a big, hairy, audacious goal. And it is a very ambitious project with a really remarkable group of, I will say a remarkable group of guys, because it is all the three co-founders are men. Gee, there's a surprise in a tech startup.
Ba-dum-bum.
So not right. Except these guys are awesome. They're all kinds of awesome. And the company is called Everything.
It's called Everything. So it's called Kathy, it's called Amanda, it's called TechZulu, it's called Alcatel-Lucent.
No, it's literally called Everything.
Literally called Everything.
Everything.me. So here's the premise. When you think about these devices, right? You think about these phones that we have. They're called smartphones, but they haven't actually made us any smarter. Because
They might make us dumber, actually.
They might make us dumber, perhaps. But when you think about it, the information in the library is only good insofar as the library door is unlocked and you can get at the information, and then the information in the library is sorted in a way that you can get to the
Dewey Decimal, does anybody remember what that is?
I think I might want to get 2 dogs and name them Dewey and Decimal, just because it would be funny, I think. So the idea behind the Everything project, which is what we have done here, we're creating a project. We are in beta right now, and we are here at South by Southwest unveiling this beta to get more user feedback so that we can iterate the product more quickly. Don't worry, I'll give you URL in a second. But the idea is simple, that
Mom, URL means the web address.
yes, that Earl. Earl is not your next door neighbor. Earl is the
We do know an Earl back in Maine, though. That's why I had to tell my mom that it's a web address, really.
Hi, Mom. She's awesome. My daughter's awesome. So the idea is simple. When you currently look for things on your smartphone, you're using a convention from the web that's been squished down into a little teeny package. And it's not a mobile experience. So what we've done is opened up the gates so that when you search for anything, you get everything on that subject, and you get it in the form of apps.
When you search for anything, you get everything about that subject.
Here's an example. So let's say you're totally grooving on the Foo Fighters. Love the Foo Fighters, so you type in Foo Fighters.
Pretty awesome. We saw them last year.
Awesome band. So you type in the Foo Fighters, and what you get in a regular, traditional search is a list of blue links. The first one is probably their official website. Then maybe you get a couple of other links. Then maybe some
Fan sites,
whatever. It's hard to navigate on your mobile. Most of those sites, 80% or more that you go to, aren't mobile optimized. So you're pinching, you're squeezing, you're like moving all around on the phone. It's hard to read. You type in Foo Fighters on everything, and what you get is YouTube, iTunes, Metro Lyrics, Groove Shark, SoundCloud, the Foo
only the related stuff that you would actually really want to be finding?
I'm going to show it to you just so that
Okay.
your viewers
You guys have to see my face because I'm going to be looking at it over here. We could hold it up over here really close, but I'm going to see it first. We're looking up Foo Fighters right now.
on a real
Do 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 do. Yeah. And it's buttons. You guys, it's buttons. There's Safari, there's YouTube, there's iTunes, there's Groove Shark, there's Wikipedia, SoundCloud, Metro Lyrics, Picture Slideshow. Oh my God, Twitter, Songkick. It keeps go show the camera. Go oop, as I drop my phone. Go over there.
Oh, go?
Yeah, go. Show the camera. As I pick up my phone.
Pretty awesome, right? Everything you need, and if you click on one of them, we'll see if the connection actually, it's kind of a slow connection. But what's going to load for the YouTube page, actually opening to all the videos.
I don't know if they can hear you though.
Actually moving through the. It's going to open to all of the videos for the Foo Fighters. This is kind of like drinking a milkshake through a cocktail straw right now, right? This is like really slow connection as opposed to just mainlining the milkshake, which is awesome. That would be awesome. Did it load yet? Well, you get the idea. You can see that it's YouTube up there, right? Yeah. Okay, so
Just the laundry list. I mean, and
it
I
awesome?
love that it's listing everything out as buttons or badges.
or icons. You can call them whatever you will. They look like apps. They feel like apps. But here's the kicker: none of those things are on my phone. I don't have to download anything, because we have done tens of thousands of tests with tens of thousands of users, who are regular people, who are not the people at South by Southwest who are saturated in technology, who carry 3 devices, who know what HTML.
Just 3. Come on, woman. We're talking like 5, 7, and not only that, but like all the chargers and all the gear.
Lots of gear. So the idea is
Utilikilts.
That's just not right. That's just not right on a number of fronts. But the idea is simply, we tested it with tens of thousands of users in a closed test last fall. And we started opening the gates a little more widely. In January, we opened the doors a little bit more. And so that's what we're here at South by Southwest to do, is open the doors even more widely. So here's where you can pull out your own smartphones. It can be an iPhone. It can be an Android.
So I can use it on this thing. All right, great.
On that right there. You just go to your browser and go to that bar up at the top where you type in the website address, and you type in everything.me.
Everything.me.
Everything.me. Everything.me. And it's a beta. And so the idea behind a beta is that it's not fully baked yet. It's not a finished product. It's not completely done.
But you can give feedback on what the final product will be like.
Exactly. Because the idea, one of the challenges, and this is a little soapbox I've been leaping onto lately, and she's smiling because she knows how I get when I get like a burr under my blanket. I get a little cranky. So and I'll keep my language clean for the sake of Mom listening.
Mom doesn't care.
Okay. I will try to keep the profanity to a dull roar. We have allowed ourselves to normalize to crap. We have allowed ourselves to be accustomed to products that are meh. I mean, if you flipped a switch in your house and the lights didn't go on every time you flipped the switch in your house, you'd be pissed.
Or if they only went on part way and they were really dim.
Or they went on like 1 out of 9 times. Or you turned the key on the ignition in your car and it went on every now and again. And sometimes it did and sometimes it didn't. You wouldn't allow that to be. If 1 out of every 6 planes that took off from an airport crashed, the FAA wouldn't let them fly.
See why she's such an amazing storyteller? She can come up with examples like this.
So here's the thing. In order to make a product better, you can test it in a little petri dish in your lab. You can test it among yourselves as developers, and we think we know what people want, right? So and the team, our team, is a very seasoned team. So they've done software before, so they have a pretty good idea of how people might react to certain things.
Right.
But you never really know, because you never really know exactly what human behavior is going to be. You'd never know until you put it in their hands.
How do you determine which sites to be curating the content from? So with a band, it makes sense that you would use, music-related sites, whether, it's video for YouTube or whether it's Songkick or, that sort of thing. But what if I did a search on, screwdrivers?
Okay, so what you would get is it would say screwdrivers, and at the top it would say, do you mean the tool? Do you mean the drink? So, and then if you click on drink, it's going to pull up recipe sites and beverage sites and bartending sites. And if you click on tool, it's going to maybe pull up Sears or different tool catalogs and different stores near you where you can go physically buy a screwdriver. If you type in the Eagles, it'll ask, do you want the football team? Do you want the band? Do you want the animal? And you'll get different sites based on which you choose. One of the interesting changes to do is look for the Lorax. Do you mean the book? Where you'll get Barnes & Noble, you'll get Amazon.
I love that. Great example.
Or do you want the movie, where you get IMDb, Netflix, Flickster, et cetera, et cetera. So it's this idea that there is such a wealth of information, and being able to let people get to it more effectively. People ask us, how do you determine what's up top? We curate to a certain degree the top publishers and top traffic, but also over time, if every time you do a movie search, you always use Netflix first, over time Netflix will start pegging to the top.
So it's a smart everything.me.
Super smarty pants. Super smarty pants.
Super smarty pants. So is this really about search, or is this kind of going beyond search?
It is. I love that you just said that because it is exactly the point. It's going beyond search to empowering you, really empowering you with all of the information that you have right at your fingertips. We have never lived in a time like this. Mankind has never had access to this much information. We are the aggregate intelligence of every smart person who has ever walked before us on this planet and who's on this planet right now. We have access to all of that info.
And people need to look up, if you want to get really brainiac right now, look up the noosphere, because they're kind of doing the noosphere. Teilhard de Chardin, this French guy, coined this term, the noosphere, way back when, which sort of meant the internet, or sort of meant this connectivity that we have where we can reach up and pluck information out of a cloud. So Everything.me is sort of the noosphere, Kathy Brooks, storyteller.
She just said it. I don't got to say nothing. She just said it.
Well, that's Everything.me.
Everything.me, and we are baking native versions, so versions that you would physically download to your phone for iPhone and for Android and for Windows. But we're baking those on a slow burn in the oven until we get the beta more firmly in place. So try it out and let us know what you think.
And does it matter which browser someone uses? Is there one that's more optimized than another?
Doesn't matter. I mean, if you're on an iPhone, Safari is going to be your default browser. If you're on an Android device, your default browser is going to probably be Chrome, I would think. And if you're on a Windows device, my condolences.
I didn't say that. She has a soapbox, not me.
I have a Windows phone, so I love it. Really. I do.
So there you go, folks. The amazing, the wonderful, the amazing storyteller, Kathy Brooks, and Everything.me. And the sky even acknowledged you with a clap of thunder and lightning.
Thank you very much.
Da, 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 da. And where can people find you on the interwebs?
Yeah, I've made myself kind of ridiculously. I could never actually run. I'd have to totally pull the plug. I'm Kathy Brooks on Twitter. It's Kathy with a C. At Kathy Brooks on Twitter. You can find me at kathybrooks.com. You can send a smoke signal, carrier pigeon.
Yeah. Airplane, paper airplane.
Ask Truman.
Ask Truman. Yes, you need to figure out who Truman is. That is the trivia question of the day here on TechZulu Live at South by Southwest is, who is Ask Truman? Find out, because if you can answer me, then you'll get some kind of prize. I don't know what it is yet, but Kathy will be very happy.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yes. So find out who Ask Truman is. Yes. Well, thank you, lady.
Thank you.